Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Mental Sense Avec Femi, where we demystify mental health diagnosis and things that relate to mental health. Okay, and this is one of the videos in our Burnout series, and today we're looking at the myth that only weak people burn out. Have you ever heard someone say, I wish I could be stronger, or maybe if I was stronger I could handle something like this? Or maybe you've actually said it to yourself that everyone else seems to be doing fine and why am I struggling? Now, as a psych nurse, I've heard this more often than you can think of, and today we're tackling one of the most damaging burnout myths, which is only weak people burn out. But you know the truth, some of the strongest, most dedicated, most resilient and hardworking people I've ever met experienced burnout. And in fact, burnout seems to target those that care the most. Can you imagine? Let's talk about why. Now, the society has forced us to think that strong people don't cry, they don't feel any pain, and they are never weak. In other words, somewhere along the way, society has convinced us that resilience means never struggling. Now, those strong people never get overwhelmed. They never feel exhausted. They are never tired. They never need help. They are perfect. Now imagine telling someone, if you were stronger, you wouldn't need to sleep. How does that sound? Ridiculous, right? Exactly. Yet, people say the emotional equivalent of this every day. Listen, your nervous system have limits, okay? Just like your muscles. You can train them, you can stretch them, you can exercise them, but they still have limits, okay? Burnout isn't a proof of weakness. It's often proof that you've been carrying too much for too long. Now, this is what I say as a mental health nurse. In my outpatient and inpatient setting, okay, I've met nurses, colleagues, for instance, doctors, teachers, police officers, first responders, parents and support workers, like those who work with people with developmental and learning needs, okay, on a daily basis. Now, these people are not weak people. These are often people who spend their lives helping others. And research consistently shows that burnout rates are highest among those in the caring or helping professions. Why is this? Because caring is emotionally expensive. Now, you don't pay in dollars, pounds, naira, yen, or whatever currency you can hold in your hands. You actually pay with your emotional energy, your compassion, your patience. And if you're not careful, you also pay with pieces of yourself. Every difficult conversation, every patient in crisis, every family you comfort, every issue you troubleshoot is a gradual withdrawal from your emotional bank account. And if you keep giving without taking time to recover, one day you'll discover that your account is overdrawn. That is exactly what burnout feels like. Okay? Now you can quantify the number of hours you work 8 hours, 12 hours, 5 hours, thereabouts, but you can't actually place any monetary value on the care you provide during those hours. Now, have you ever imagined walking into a room sometime and then you just realize that you've forgotten the reason why you walked into the room in the first instance? If that has been happening to you a lot, you should pay attention. Okay? Compassion is powerful, but compassion without recovery eventually becomes depletion. I often tell my clients sometimes that your empathy and your care is a gift, but even gifts need some form of maintenance, right? Just last week, there was a news that 1 in every 10 emergency physicians in Canada have left their practice, while the vast majority of them are actually reducing their hours to take time off to manage burnout. Now, these are not weak people. Let that sink in. Now, let's imagine your smartphone. Like, everyone has smartphone these days, right? You charge it every night. You update the app or operating system, you replace the battery if necessary, and then you do other stuff just to keep it updated. Now compare that to how many adults treat themselves. No sleep, 3 or more coffees daily, 2 energy drinks or more, 4 hours of scrolling, and somehow we are surprised when the system crashes. Imagine calling your phone weak because it ran out of battery after 3 weeks without charging it. That's not weakness. That's physics, chemistry, biology, astronomy, geography, and all other subjects you can ever think of combined into one. Now, this is what research says about burnout. Burnout is strongly associated with excessive workload, lack of control, chronic stress, poor life-work balance, and other things I mentioned in my previous video. I already talked about the WHO's definition. You can see the link somewhere. Now, what the science points towards is stress exposure, not character flaws. So that means you cannot completely say that burnout is equivalent to weakness. Okay? Real strength looks like this: setting boundaries, asking for support, taking breaks before you are forced to take breaks, and recognizing the warning signs by protecting your mental health. One of the strongest things you can say is, I need help. Not because you are incapable, but because you're human. And human functions best when connected. So, let's retire this myth once and for all. Burnout is not a weakness issue. It is often a workload issue, a stress issue, a recovery issue, and a system issue. If you've been telling yourself, I should be stronger, maybe it's time to replace that with, what support do I need? And remember, the strongest people aren't the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who recognize when it's time to stop carrying everything alone. If this video has helped you in any way, or you know someone that could benefit from this, please share, like, and send it to them. And follow also for more evidence-based psych-innocent perspective regarding mental health. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next myth of burnout, which is a short vacation, a break from work will fix burnout. Take care of yourself. Bye.